differences of samatha and vipassana meditation. Spiritual teachers say meditation is a shortcut to enlightenment. Meditation, in many traditions, is highly recommended, especially in Buddhism. There are two types of meditation. The first is samatha bhavana or tranquility meditation, and the second is vipassana bhavana or insight meditation. There are different views among meditation teachers. Some say that one must practice and be proficient in samatha bhavana meditation first. Only then do they enter into vipassana bhavana meditation. There are also those who say that to achieve enlightenment it is not necessary to do samatha bhavana meditation first but directly to vipassana bhavana meditation. Samatha bhavana meditation is concentration or attention on a particular object, such as the breath. There are 40 objects that can be used for meditation. Breath is only one of them. The purpose of this meditation is to train the mind so that it is controlled and finally still. When the state of mind is completely focused, very still, and completely absorbed in the object of meditation, at that time the meditator reaches the state of jhana. Whereas vipassana bhavana meditation is meditation on mindfulness, introspection, observation of reality, objective awareness, and learning from the experience of every moment. The point of this meditation is to observe any mental or physical process that is most dominant in the present moment. In other words, realizing, noting, remembering when it disappears. This video is not in a position to say which or who is right. Do you need samatha first and then vipassana, or don't you need samatha but just vipassana? This video wants to convey what actually happens in the mind of someone who does meditation, be it samatha or vipassana, in terms of research in the West, by measuring brainwave patterns. There was someone who studied with Anna Wise. One thing that really enlightened him was when Anna Wise said, meditation is a state of consciousness, a specific brainwave pattern, not a technique. Anna also said that there is a state of consciousness and content of consciousness. Wow, this is truly an extraordinary enlightenment. Anna Wise came to this conclusion after measuring, using the mind mirror, the brainwave patterns of countless people, including Zen meditation masters and teachers. From Anna Wise's measurements, one very interesting data was obtained. Namely that all meditation masters and teachers have the same brain waves. This pattern is called the awakened mind pattern, meaning that the mind is awake, which consists of beta, alpha, theta, and delta with the right composition. Beta here is low beta and only a little bit, because it is only used for realizing, knowing, noting. Alpha serves as a bridge that connects the conscious and subconscious mind. Theta as the subconscious mind and delta as the unconscious mind. We still need beta, even if only a little, to be able to know or realize what we are going through. If there is no beta, then we will not know at all, do not remember what happened, which was experienced during meditation. So what does this have to do with samatha and vipassana meditation? Samatha meditation, when viewed from the brainwave pattern, aims to turn off beta waves. Beta is a conscious thought wave with a frequency range from 12 to 25 Hz. This wave is active when we think, evaluate or give meaning to something, criticize, make lists, analyze, or talk to ourselves. High beta, whose frequency is above 25 Hz, is associated with stress and anxiety. The more active a person's high beta is, the more wild his mind is. The mind will run here and there, jumping from one thing to another, unable to stay still, difficult or almost impossible to control. This difficulty is experienced by all novice meditators. Many people spend a lot of time just learning to quiet their minds and it doesn't work. Finally, they decided to stop meditating because they did not feel the benefits. How long does it take for someone to become adept at turning their minds off? This all depends on the timing and the technique used. Generally, to off the conscious mind, people use the object of breath. The mind is trained to be still by focusing on the breath. And when the mind flees to another object, it is drawn back into the breath. And so on until a very high power of concentration is attained. The difficulty of the meditator to quiet his mind, apart from being active in high beta, is also caused by a tense body. Improper sitting position, especially when it comes to full lotus posture, makes the thigh and body muscles so tense that it is impossible to achieve a relaxed state of mind. Still based on Anna Wise's research, to be able to relax the mind, lower beta quickly can be done by relaxing the body first. There is a specific technique that he developed to be able to silence the mind in a very short time. When a person has been able to off his conscious mind, turn off beta waves, then at that time he has entered a very deep meditative state. So, meditation is actually a brainwave consisting of alpha, theta, and or without delta. It is clear here that beta is not needed for meditation. Precisely, beta needs to be removed. So, what does this have to do with Vipassana meditation? From personal experience, it is quite difficult or even impossible to observe the forms of thoughts, feelings, or physical sensations that arise when the conscious mind is still very active. Especially if the active is high beta. Obviously, it is very difficult to make observations if the device used to make observations, namely the conscious mind, is still very active and busy on its own. What is observed in Vipassana meditation, especially in the aspect of thought formations and feelings that arise, actually comes from the subconscious and unconscious minds. From the subconscious mind usually comes a memory or remembrance of certain events, which comes from experiences in current life, and usually contains a high-intensity emotional charge, both positive and negative. So, when this memory appears, either in the form of a picture or a film, then actually at the same time the emotions associated with this memory are also active. Meanwhile, from the unconscious mind will emerge memories and emotions from past lives. That is why it is very important for a meditator not to go into the experience, as it usually contains intense emotions. And it is enough to just know, be aware of, note and remember it when it disappears. The meditator does not dissolve into it. It can be very risky for the meditator to enter into the experience, especially if the experience contains intense negative emotions, such as the result of a past trauma. If this happens, then the meditator will re-experience the incident or experience. The technical term is revivification or awakening, and will have a negative impact on his mental and emotional state. The ability to be an observer and not enter into the object being observed can only be achieved if our self-control is good as well as a conscious mind, beta, not too active and does not give judgment. When we are able to see or just be observers, then we have been able to dissociate so that it is not influenced by the emotions attached to a memory. When we are able to calm down, just be aware, record, and remember the events or experiences that arise, then we will know and realize that we are not our experiences or emotions. The experience or emotion appears and disappears. And when we distance ourselves, or separate ourselves from those experiences or emotions, then they cannot affect us. Many think, if there is no beta, then how can we possibly gain insight or understand? Insight or real wisdom comes from theta or subconscious mind. The depth of meditation is determined by the theta depth we have reached. Theta is where the deepest spiritual connection occurs. When a person is in deep theta, then he will feel calm, peace, and extraordinary happiness. The subconscious mind has its own thought process that is separate from the conscious mind. So, when we meditate vipassana, when the conscious mind is not very active, then the information or insight that comes from the subconscious mind will rise, through the alpha bridge, to the beta conscious mind, and we realize or know and remember this information. So, what meditators who have been doing samatha meditation for years are actually preparing for awakening or enlightenment? These meditators usually, after years of practicing meditation, succeed in developing the awakened mind brainwave pattern. But samatha meditation, even though it has been practiced for a long time, even though it has succeeded in achieving the awakened mind pattern, is not able to facilitate the attainment of enlightenment. Why? Because samatha meditation is actually a way to achieve a specific state of consciousness. This state of consciousness then needs to be followed up by practicing vipassana meditation. Because vipassana is actually content-based meditation. What is meant by content, apart from the physical sensations felt, is also the content of the subconscious mind in the forms of thoughts and emotions that arise, are felt, or experienced during meditation, in the here and now moments. The most popular example is the koan in Zen meditation. When a Zen master asks his student, "How does it sound when the clapping is done with only one hand?" Then at that time the master asks a question that cannot be answered if the student only uses the conscious or beta mind, when thinking hard to find the answer. Then the mind of a trained disciple will be so focused, and this is actually samatha meditation, will gain understanding or knowledge, which comes from his subconscious mind, which is able to facilitate the attainment of enlightenment. This is not empty mind meditation. Rather, it is a meditation with very specific content that is practiced by a practitioner with a very well and carefully prepared state of mind, using specific techniques. Viewers of the video, so far, if you were to meditate, which technique would you use? Samatha or vipassana? All return to yourself. When meditating, know yourself. You will know whether you are going straight to vipassana or need to practice samatha first. And most importantly, you need to study under the guidance of an experienced meditation teacher. Just sitting and paying attention to the breath, paying attention to the mind is not necessarily meditation. Meditation, as defined by Anna Wise, as a specific state of consciousness, not just a technique. If you have been meditating for a long time but have not been able to enter or have not been able to experience that specific state of consciousness, then it can be said that your meditation has not been successful. Anna Wise once helped a client, a meditator. This client's complaint is that although he has been meditating in samatha for 12 years non-stop, every day for 1 hour, he still cannot enter into a deep meditative state. When looking at the pattern of his brain waves, using the mind mirror, it appears that during the 12 years of meditation this client could not keep his mind still. This can be seen from the high beta, which is very active when he does meditation with a specific technique. Anna Wise managed to help this client quiet his mind so that it becomes calm and quiet in a relatively short time. It's a shame that 12 years of perseverance has not yielded the desired results. Happy meditating. Thus, the description in this video, which discusses samatha meditation and vipassana meditation according to science presented by Anna Wise, may be useful. See you again in another video on this channel, which is endeavored to contain good knowledge and interesting info, or maybe add something entertaining, with the hope that apart from being useful, hopefully it won't be too boring to watch. You can find this channel on YouTube under the name Hermanahadi. To all of you who watched this video, thank you very much. May you be healthy, happy, fond of doing good and eager to live life with a peaceful heart. Bye-bye.
I can't stop loving you. broken heart, but I will to say it will be apart. I can't look at you. But I will to say it will be apart. While the veil in there, it will be